Okay, cool. All right, patriotism, then we'll get into the church thing, payday loan thing. Okay. Intro in 3, 2, 1. All power to the people. It's the Bruh Listen Podcast. The Black Podcast, social.
What you doing?
You fucked me up, bro.
Really think?
You fucked me up. You fucked me up. Okay, I'm doing it again.
Add some sauce to it,
Here we go. Here we go.
And I'm gonna do the chop chop.
Don't do the chop chop. Don't do it.
Come on,
okay,
man.
here we go.
That was dope.
Okay, here intro. All power to the people. It's the Bruh Listen Podcast. The Black Podcast focusing on social political issues and how they affect our community. With your hosts, Bria Ward, Cedric Owens, Matt Smiley, and Anthony Rogers. Bruh Listen. Bruh Nation, what's good? We back again. Put the chops in there earlier in the intro, but we had to delete it and restart it because it messed me all up.
Fly, bro.
You gotta let it go, Tank said, but I wasn't ready for that. That threw me all off, man. We hope everybody feeling good out there. Checking us out on the YouTube and whatever else you checking us out on. So on this episode, I wanted to make sure that before I started, I told everybody how to interact with us because we're really not looking at the comment structure on the YouTube while we're doing the pod. I look at it afterwards. So if you want to leave a comment on the YouTube live stream, that's fine. And then I'll get back to your comment after the show. But if you want to interact with us during the show, you can follow us on Twitter at Bruh Listen Podcast. Tank is reading tweets. So that'll be real interesting. So if you want to say something or you got something to say, go ahead and tweet it, and then Tank will respond to you, and we'll try to interact with it during the show. But besides that,
I can tweet too, right?
Yeah, you can tweet back. Yeah, we got Twitter. We legit. We got Instagram too. Y'all follow us at Bruh Listen Podcast on Instagram, and make sure you like us on the Facebook. And if you haven't liked and subscribed on YouTube, and you're checking us out the first time, check us out. We're not on Tinder, but we're on Tumblr and WordPress. We everywhere.
Tumblr is the same thing. They got the moles on that.
I don't know, man. Tumblr is interesting to say the least. Tumblr is where the flat Earth thing came from, man. Tumblr and Reddit, yeah, it's for real. So you can start a movement, on Tumblr or whatever. So
why are you looking at me? My wife's sitting over there looking at me crazy.
I'm pretty sure she's telling him don't go crazy on the Twitter. That's what she's telling him.
I like the window shop.
But now we appreciate everybody tuning in, man, and checking us out. So we're going to get right into it for this episode number 13. So something I noticed this week was it was a big deal, and we talked about this previously, was with the taking the knee, the NFL changing their thing, whatever. And something that I had noticed was a lot of response from certain people was that it was unpatriotic for them to take a knee. But there was also a lot of people who didn't think it was unpatriotic and said it was a good form of patriotism. So what I wanted to start the show off with today was Black Patriotism. Like, what is Black Patriotism? Is it necessary? Should we have it? What should it be? And all that good stuff. So I know our granddad, me and Tank's granddad, was a vet, and he instilled some stuff into us. And I'm going to start with a quick story real quick before I get to the panel. So my granddad was in World War II, and he stepped on a landmine and blew his foot off or whatever. So when he blew his foot off, he lost half his foot. So he got a Medal of Honor and a Purple Heart for fighting in World War II. When he came back to Jacksonville, Florida in 1940-something after the war, and he went to get something, and he was in full uniform, and he went to get something from the lunch counter at Woolworths downtown, they told him niggas eat in the back. So my granddaddy always said, piss on the flag. He wasn't a patriot at all, being a vet or anything, because he said that black men didn't have a seat at the table, so why should we be patriotic?
Piss on it.
Piss on it. So I'm going to go to you, Tank. What do you think about Black patriotism, man?
Yeah, we need to be patriots, man. What's wrong with y'all? We live here, don't we?
I disagree with that.
We live here. I mean, the success of America means the success for niggas.
You think so?
You with that, you ain't.
Ooh, I can tell right now this is going to be a good topic.
Remember, I mean, what y'all want some other country to come over here and run shit? So, I mean, you gotta be either you behind by directly or indirectly, but you behind America. You behind niggas behind supporting the bullshit unless you just want to move from America. But I still say fuck America.
That's not all this shit though. Now you contradicting yourself.
I'm saying I should be, or whatever. But I hate these. No, never say that. No, not all white people. All right, I always gotta say that. These crackers dirty. So it pushes you to a point where you want to say fuck all of that. And I just say fuck the flag just to piss off white people because they care about it more.
Man, that's true. I know you do that.
They care about it more than black people. So that's why I say fuck.
I feel like they do care about patriotism more than black lives.
I'm patriotic. Shit, I love America.
Matt,
I'm patriotic in that sense. I love America. There you go.
What you think, Matt? What you think about black patriotism, my brother?
Well, I love the land that I'm from. So some of my countrymen are white, some of them black, some Hispanic, Asian, whatever. But we all countrymen. It's nowhere else in the world I can go, and people relate to me, even if it's with discrimination, the way the people here do. So I value that. Hand over heart.
Brill,
salute.
Brill, what you think about this patriotism topic, man?
I mean, I understand what Tank and Matt are saying, but I sort of kind of disagree. Just like with your granddad, black people went over and fought these wars. They fought in the World Wars. They fought in the Vietnam War, just to come back to their own country and be treated like crap. Like that makes absolutely no sense. So I don't want to say that I'm not patriotic, but I also don't fully support I don't support everything that America does. So why should I be patriotic? Like I don't support the way that they treat black people. I don't support the way that they see me, how they stereotype me. So what am I patriotic about? They're not going to defend me.
I don't really give a fuck about that's how they treat us, because that's internal problems and shit that we can work on. We can work on our own house. My problem with being patriotic, where the conflicts me wanting to be patriotic, and how they go around the world doing other bullshit to other people. Because the shit in the house, we can fix that shit if we wanted to, the niggas ain't together. So that's something we can do. All right. I mean, apart from the system, we can do that ourselves, but we all fucked up. Around the world, they just doing all kind of bullshit. So I'm gonna be patriotic and support all of the killings and terrorizing they doing in the Middle East, and foreign governments infiltrating them and unstabilizing governments in order to.
You say that America's doing that, right?
Yeah, they're doing that. Yeah.
But see, for me, that's my point. I would say I don't support it at all. I don't think black people should be patriotic, and I don't think we should have patriotism. But I also, the reason why I say that is because we don't have a seat at the table. Once we get a seat at the table, then I'm all for being patriotic. But being patriotic, in my opinion, is, like you say, loving the land from Matt and stuff like that, and supporting, like all the different things that America represents. But it's big up in America. It's having America's back on what they doing. But why have they back on what they doing if it don't benefit you at all? Like, you got to think of Granddad. You got to think of the Tuskegee Airmen, where they fought in the war and helped us win the war. And then they did syphilis experiments on them for 30 years.
You'll support the troops.
And then tell them, listen, here go my thing about the support the troop thing. Before 9/11, ain't nobody support the troops or whatever. And then after 9/11, there's this upswing of patriotism, to where if you don't support the troops, you anti the troops. I'm not anti the troops. I support every troop. I hope nobody perishes out there or whatever. But I'm not supporting what's going on with it. Like you said, they over in Syria. What we killing babies in Syria for?
I just love pissing off white people, man. When you living here and enjoying all the fruits of America's labor and everything, and you just say, fuck the flag, fuck your anthem, man, fuck America. Oh, they get mad. Well, go back on your own country.
Well, see, here's the thing. Here's my opinion. Here's what I'm saying on that. The reason why I say we shouldn't be patriotic is because they see that as their flag, their anthem. All the symbols of America, white people see it as white. Now, it should be the way you and Matt saying, where it represents all of us. We got men in this nation of different color. But a white person, when Kaepernick take that knee, he feel like he disrespecting white America. He don't feel like he disrespecting America as a whole, because he don't care about black lives.
And see, that's the thing. You mentioned the whole 9/11 thing. Like, before 9/11, people really did not care about people going overseas. Well, some of the families did, but in general, America didn't care about men going over there to fight. Like, if you were sitting here at home comfortable, you didn't care about those men coming back over here with PTSD, and they had legs blown off and their minds were like
Homeless
all messed
vets.
up. And you still got homeless vets. There was a guy today that came outside of my job, and he's a homeless veteran, and he got what do you call him?
Fake legs?
Amputees.
Yes,
Yeah.
and his legs are amputated and everything.
Prosthetics. Yeah, there you go, Matt. Thank you, Matt.
And you know, you got people.
AKA
Some people were
fake
helping
legs.
him out with people just passing him by, like he didn't fight for his country and lose limbs. So I just don't understand why I need to, when this country doesn't even support me, they don't fight for me, they don't care about me. So why should I be?
Well, Matt, you feel like you patriotic and you love the country. Expand a little bit on it, and let us know why you feel like we should be a little bit more patriotic.
When I say I'm patriotic, I'm talking about the American spirit
Right.
and the American people.
Yeah.
Right? When you think about American institutions, can they be unfair? Yes. Can they be harsh? Yes. Do people suffer? Yes. But they also provide a lot of things that the world is dying to get over here to try and experience. Accessibility to
That's true.
access to education, living standards that are well beyond the median, right? And not only that, speaking of 9/11, I remember that was my freshman year of college. I got up to go to Cal, and there was no class. I get back, my homeboys say they done crashed planes into the towers. It wasn't a feeling of, that's what you get, America.
No, it
I've
wasn't.
never been in New York City. I don't know anybody in New York City, but it felt like they had hit my home.
Oh yeah, I would
felt
agree
it
with
too.
that. I was scared. I
So-
cried.
So if in
I
our worst moments, like hurricanes and natural disasters,
Right.
when people come together, they don't go, oh, we only brought bottled water for white folks. That's not what happened. When Americans need other Americans, we're there for them. All these things that the people want to say, or divisions and stuff, they do exist. But on the person-to-person level, most Americans just want the next man to be all right without hurting them.
I want to say something about that now. I think that the only reason that we cared about it and we came together as a nation. Sorry, we got these bootleg mics now. I got to scoot up to them.
Nah, I just want you to scoot up so I can hear you. I'm trying to still EQ. Go ahead.
Oh Lord, have mercy. All right, yeah, 9/11.
Right.
I only really cared about it because we wanted to vote to everything that America was doing
America
around.
was untouchable.
Yeah, around the Middle East. Like, we know me and you, we was just then. But now, if they hit the building, we'll be like, okay, we know what America's doing, so we know why.
I still don't think it was justified.
Why it wasn't justified?
Because the people in that building wasn't the people who was going over to the mess
I
with
know,
Al
but see,
Qaeda.
this is how it be justified. The people that America killed ain't Al Qaeda. Ain't nobody that's doing this. They killing babies and stuff that ain't got shit to do with the terrorism. So okay, if you over there and your uncles and
So
nephews,
you saying eye
and
for eye, basically?
yes, I understand. And not even saying that it's
Not
justified,
right.
but I understand where it's come from. So I wouldn't be like, oh, it's no reason. That they ran that plane into the building.
Well, see, that's my thing about patriotism. Patriotism works both ways. Not just Americans are patriotic, other people are patriotic too. And the people who live under Al Qaeda rule or whatever in that particular situation with 9/11, they felt like those dudes were martyrs, and they felt like that was a very patriotic act they did.
Oh, they terrorists to us.
So patriotism, yeah, but they terrorists to us, and to them, we're
Not to me.
terrorists.
Like,
But to me, I feel like this. I don't want to be patriotic. I'd rather be a humanist. I do want Matt right. I want the best for the next man next to me, every man next to me. But I feel like when we divide ourselves, going back to the thing, like when I say black people who descended from slaves should just call themselves black, and let's not distinguish ourselves like Haitian, Dominican, Jamaican, whatever. Because I feel like when we start dividing ourselves into these little clans, then you get that type of like agitated like anger and aggression towards each other. As a humanist, I feel like every man have the right to live and be free. I only have one rule in life. I don't even have a moral system. The only moral, or per se, quotation marks, air quotations, that I have is do whatever you want to do as long as it don't hurt nobody else. That's the only thing I live by. But to me, it's like, a lot of times I think we get caught up in American patriotism and we don't look at other countries' patriotism. Like a person in Iran who blew up or killed 47 American troops, he a hero over there because he fighting us or whatever. And Iran ain't fighting with us, but like Syria or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like they're heroes. That's why I think patriotism can be toxic in a way, because I think everybody's ideal of what a true patriot is different.
you gotta pick a tribe, bro.
You think so? I don't know.
I mean,
you're right. You're with us or against us, my nigga. I mean, who you fuck?
At some point, you gotta type. No man is an island. So whoever you gonna connect to, you have to pick a bond. If you wanted to just be people with happy feelings, that can be your
Happy feelings.
But the Iranian who blows up a bazaar because he has these feelings, I'm sure the majority of his countrymen aren't proud of that. Will there be some? Yes. Because in any fruit basket is gonna be some nuts. You can't help that.
True.
But at the same time, you don't measure countries by their least.
You don't. No, I agree.
That's why when people think American abroad, they think well-to-do, intelligent, good-looking.
You think people think that?
I traveled abroad.
Yeah, they think that.
They very much think that
okay.
we're all over.
And they think every nigga is a rapper, so you could.
And if you
fuck a lot of,
if you don't let your country,
just say you did it.
I think maybe it depends on the country because I've ran into a whole bunch of international people working at Bottoms Up with Bria or whatever, who they think like Americans are like, you okay with that taking the bottom?
Like choke on you.
You tripping, bro. Ain't nobody going mouth to mouth, but hey, yeah, they think people from the international countries that work at Bottoms Up with us or whatever, cleaning the poles and whatnot, they feel like Americans are cowboys a lot until they get over here, or Americans, like you said, all black people are thugs, or all the Mexicans are like Speedy Gonzalez or whatever. Like stereotypes reign supreme across the world or whatever. So I do think that is part of the perception of America. I do think there are great perceptions of America. Apparently, British people think we real fly. Or whatever. I was watching some stuff on YouTube where the British people think we real cool. Americans. We've already had a discussion about America. I was about to say, remember we talked about shots fired. Remember we talked about American culture and like everything is black culture, so I guess we're included in that.
Well, when they say that, I don't really know if they include niggas in that. They just talking about the white people. When they say, I don't know what they mean when they be saying American.
Black and white is such an American thing.
It is. I agree with that. Black and white is not a world thing, but all the world hate niggas though. I'll tell you that because I was watching One Punch Man, right? So I'm watching One Punch Man. It's an anime show, and I'm trying to get into anime. I watch all these different animes on Netflix or whatever. I end up turning each one off. You know why? Because when a black person come on the screen or whatever, they real dark skin with big old pink lips. Like every time.
But you fucking up at the beginning of trying to watch some anime.
Anime good, bro. Some of them good. They ain't got no black people in it, like Attack on Titan or whatever. And then so then it's like I ain't gotta deal with it. You know, I mean, to each his own or whatever. But then you ain't gotta worry about it. But that's why I said that everybody like have a negative connotation of African Americans because whenever I see them depicted around the world, it's always like what Tank say, as a thug or a caricature or whatever like that or whatever. So I don't. And now maybe over here in the Western countries is different.
I think it's all the places where it
ain't black people.
Yeah. Right. Because you could go watch some London shit and it's regular niggas they on TV, all their TVs and shit.
Yeah, it's like normal to them.
Yeah, normal. But you go the way ain't no niggas, and yeah, it's gonna be that character. What's that word you use? What?
Caricature. Not necessarily, because you gotta think it's the same thing for us. How many of us have met somebody from Thailand?
No, but I got a stereotype. I got a stereotype in my head.
Right, you got a stereotype. I'm thinking real thin, short.
I'm thinking ladyboy.
Right.
There you go. Everything I know about Thailand is from what's the movie where they had a bachelor party? Hangover, yeah.
Right. So when you think of that, Thailand hasn't had much impact on the world in a visible way. When you think about the black people that other countries are gonna see, Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Barack Obama, when they go to form on an individual level, well, the only 3 black people I've ever seen is Mike, Barack, and Beyonce. They all can dance. They all so well spoken, and they so soulful.
That show the stupidity of the world. Why we can distinguish that
everybody outside.
I don't meet that many Chinese people, but I know damn well they all ain't Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee or whatever. I know it's gonna be different kind of Chinese. Why they can't meet a nigga and know that this ain't
They don't have free.
But that's another thing about America. Our patriotism is not just having pride for your country, it's dissing on every other country just because of their culture and who they are.
That's tribe, real tribe. You with us or
no, I'm with Bree on that. I think part of American patriotism is saying like, fuck mother country. What's the movie where the dude say God bless America and nobody else? Yeah. that's the epitome of American patriotism.
That's just as dumb as being divided by race. I think that, like, going back to what you said earlier about humans just caring about each other, like, why we gotta be divided like that? Everybody just care about each other, take care of the earth and vibe.
Oh, you sound like a
I know that shit.
Pageant.
I know, and it's like,
what's wrong with that?
It's
though,
not reality.
Because niggas and people, not niggas, people is savages.
I know it's not reality. I'm just saying.
That sound with Care Bear. I want Care Bears too, just running around all fluffy.
Care Bear.
I want that, but the truth is predator and prey. This shit is nature out here. Just on.
I'm surprised you said that, bro. Coming from somebody like me and Tank, everybody that's out there. Checking us out. Me and Tank both are very much into Star Trek or whatever, and we love Star Trek. I love Gene Roddenberry and his vision of the future and how he perceived it. I'm surprised as a Trekkie, I'm surprised you said that because that's pretty much all Star Trek is humanism. There ain't no countries. It's just one Earth of all the people taking care of the Earth. You don't think that's achievable?
You gotta realize that Star Trek is not reality. It's a lot of flaws that I always see in Star Trek. The only one thing, humans wrote it, so it's always on every planet they go to, they trying to do some human shit and bring some human ways to every other alien that like this is the way to be. This is the way
you mean like how Americans go to every other country?
They trying to colonize us. Now in Star Trek it's the Federation of colonizers.
Even Star Trek recognizes in the future that there are going to be people from different places with different cultures.
True.
Yeah,
because the Kazons ain't no Trekkies.
And the real American value is God bless what I do. Fuck that other stuff. You can do it. Just don't let it stop my stuff. Americans walk past a lot of stuff they don't agree with and keep going where they're going. Americans deal with a lot of stuff they don't agree with and keep getting up and going to work. But we draw the line in certain places. That's why it's a place for pedophiles. Right? Because that's a core thing, even within our different sects.
Right, it's core value.
And the American value is leave them kids alone.
True.
And you can't tell me it's not Americans who wish that wasn't the case.
See, yeah, I agree with that. And I think though, like, see, okay, so I'm glad you said that about the core values, because you're right. Like, we all agree pedophilia is wrong. It's a horizontal moral, and it's not a vertical moral. Vertical morals don't overlap. So we all each can have our own vertical moral, but our horizontal morals are all the same that we stand on. But as black people, where do you draw the line with your horizontal morals? Because, like, for example, the American government, not like an offshoot of America, not like one part of America that was like a crazy dude, or Dr. Kevorkian or Jim Jones. The American government, the United States of America, through succession of 4 different presidents, said that they were going to experiment on black men and women, or whatever, for the greater good of America. They infected these black men with syphilis. They gave them syphilis. They were looking for a cure for it. They found it 13 years in, but they experimented on it for 26 because they wanted to keep it going and keep seeing what they can find out. That's America who did that to us or whatever. America also done a whole bunch of other things. So, like you said, it comes a point where you got to say, okay, I'm not going to take that no more. So as black people, where's that line drawn, especially with patriotism? Because, like, okay, it's for me, that's what makes it hard for me. It's hard for me to be patriotic for a country that did that to my people on purpose, which, in my opinion, that showed me how they feel about me, and also told my granddaddy, who almost died, and I wasn't even born, for this country, told him, eat in the back, nigga. So that's why I say until we get a seat at the table, like, my line drawn, I can't be patriotic. I'll be a humanist though. That don't mean I don't want success for everybody in America. I just don't want. I'm not gonna stand up for that flag. I'm not freaking.
But as long as there's other countries and shit, you want America to be successful because we have them.
You think so?
You want somebody else to take over this shit?
I don't.
When we go to war.
Yeah.
That's
I just want to live my life, dog.
That sounds nice. But if we go to war, who you riding with? You want China to take over this shit?
Okay, here's my
sweatshops on 45th.
Sweatshops on 45th. Here's my perception of war. Any war that America starts that's on foreign soil, I'm not for. If any country come over here and start shooting up people on American soil, then yes, I will. I'm 100% behind America, and I will fight. I'll go sign up. I'm not joining the military, and we know people in the military. Just don't think we military badge. My brother in the military, my homeboys in the military. There's people watching this as the military. I appreciate y'all. You know, nothing but success and all health to y'all. But me, I ain't signing up to fight no white man's American war in Syria. I don't even believe Israel should exist as a nation.
Damn sure.
So why am I gonna sign up for the military and go fight against Palestine when I think Palestine right? So I'm not doing that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It comes down to something, and I wrote this down because I wanted to say it. Sovereignty, nation sovereignty. America have this issue with respecting other people's sovereign rights as a country. Just like we as America, we have a right to do certain things because we're America. We are a sovereign nation. People respect us as that. Well, we can't go over to England and tell them what they should be doing. But America feel like if you're not our ally, we should be able to go over and tell you how you should treat your people and how you should live your life.
Only the people that don't have an equal ground, they feel like they can do that too. Because if you have equal power, then America ain't going nowhere fucking with you at all.
But that's not okay either way.
Either way,
I know, but I'm just saying,
okay.
if you have the power to equal power, then America ain't going to do shit.
Yeah, I'm just not doing it. I'm not supporting that. But if somebody came over,
Predator,
go ahead, bro.
nature.
Outside of all of that, our own government lies to us. Like they boosted up, they literally came up with campaigns and different ways of saying things to boost Americans' will to want us to go to war, basically.
Like weapons of mass destruction?
Yes, Americans like never wanted to go to war through most of the wars that we've been to. And so the politicians and presidents, they lied to Americans to get them to support that.
See, that's what I'm saying.
How can I support that?
I don't think
With my own government.
I don't think I can do it. My patriotism stops right here. Like American patriotism, I root for USA soccer. I root for us in the Olympics and stuff like that. And whenever it's an international competition, I'm rooting for the person. But it's like, yeah, they from where I'm from, so it's more like I'm rooting for the individuals. But like as a whole, as a nation, it's hard for me to just get behind like some of the stuff we do as like Americans. Like I just don't know if I feel like we should be patriotic. Maybe we should, like, going back to Atlanta, maybe we should just turn Atlanta into Nation of New Black Sun, and we'll just be patriotic with Nation of New Black Sun, or whatever. But, like, it's real hard to get behind stuff that you can't support it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, that's just real difficult or whatever. So, final closing up on this topic or whatever. Bria, do you feel like black people should be patriotic? That's a no. Tank?
Yeah, I'm telling my opinion. Fuck America. God damn it, burn this shit down. That's what we want.
So is that a yes or a no? That's a no.
Damn,
even though his entire argument was saying you better you need to be patriotic. You always have to reserve the right to change your mind. That's true. Matt, what you think, baby boy?
Only the intelligent ones.
Only the intelligent ones be patriotic. So that's cool. Before we go on to the next topic, by the way, I actually don't care if you want to be patriotic or not. Remember my one rule, which is do whatever you want to do just as long as it don't hurt nobody else. So if you want to be patriotic and that patriotism doesn't bleed or impede on somebody else, like Palestine or somebody else, right, then cool or whatever. So that's how I feel about it. But before we go on, I want to give a shout out to my boy Chris Wright and his lawn service, the Wright Lawn Care or whatever, sponsor for this show. Wright Lawn Care, Jacksonville, Florida. He'll get you right. Check him out on Facebook, on Instagram. Hit him up, and I'll leave a link on our Facebook page to his business so y'all can check him out and give him a call for your lawn care needs. He also do pressure washing. So shout out to Chris Wright, Jacksonville, Florida, the Wright Lawn Care. He real good at what he do. He do my yard. I appreciate him. I drank lemonade and wear a sun hat while he do it and be like, yard boy. So it's real fun. Next topic we gonna get to is a real interesting, also convoluted topic, so it can go many ways or whatever. But Bria brought this up, and she was saying she wanted to talk about why are black people so loyal to the church? Why are we so loyal to religious causes and religious needs? And then Matt shared something with us that was super interesting, which I want to discuss, which is here in the state of Florida, a pastor from 1 Timothy. Do you remember the pastor name, Matt?
Frederick Newbill.
Frederick Newbill is leading a coalition of pastors who are going down to Tallahassee to loosen the restrictions on payday loans because his church has gotten into the payday loan business. So he wants to loosen them up so they can expand their payday loans or whatever. So I think all this tying together of like, number one, with the payday loan thing, I think the question on that is, do you think that what the Pastor Newbill doing with 1 Timothy, do you think that's something that's good for black people or bad for black people because it's opening up payday loans? And then the second part is, like, the church is supposed to, according to the bylaws, help the community and provide for the community or whatever. Do you feel like they're retaining their end of the bargain on that, and that's why black people are being loyal? Or do you think that it's just something that's ingrained in us? Go ahead, Britt, since you brought this up, you go ahead and start.
You asked me specifically about the payday loan?
Either one you want to address first.
Okay. So the payday loan thing, I think that if the preachers are going to use that to help the community, I don't even want to say that.
Say it.
Because I feel like they're going to get corrupted either way. Like, I don't see how that's going to help the black community, because it's already bringing the black community down. There's a payday loan place on like every corner, and you see why niggas are still in the position that they're in. So if they're going to use that and turn it around and use it to help the black community, okay, fine. But if they're going to use it to corrupt it and they just want money in the church because the pastor wants bands or whatever like that, then that's a whole different story.
Well, you know, Pastor Newbill in the article, he said that that's part of the reason why he's fighting for the payday loans, because the church can't always provide the help or whatever. So the payday loan, establishing the payday loan business will help expand the help for these black people.
If they put less of the tithe money and offering money in their pocket and more to the community, then you don't have that issue.
You mean we don't need the air conditioning fund no more? Take the offer. Tank, what you think about this, man? About loyalty to the black church. Why black people loyal to the church?
I hate talking about this dumb ass shit.
Why you feel like that?
I'm on the pastor side. now what's up, the Creflo dollar? I'm on all these niggas out, because if you gonna be silly enough to do this shit, there's another information like, well, you should know better. If they still pimping the people in there with that Jesus shit, I think they're scared of death. That's what it is. Everybody get old and then they want to get closer to Jesus, and then
or
they
go to jail.
Listen, and then they listen to this pastor with these payday loans and all. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
I feel like you sound like you're frustrated.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. Niggas. It's like niggas should know better. The con game is right in your face, but I don't know. Like,
I'm glad you mentioned Creflo Dollar and then said the con game, because
con game, right?
When you got a pastor, but see, that's the thing that goes to this loyalty thing. So you got Creflo Dollar, a big time pastor in Atlanta, and he's saying, "I need a jet or whatever, so I need y'all to give me this money to get a jet."
I need a jet.
I don't know how big this
$5 million jet.
Yeah, I need a private jet.
What you need a jet for?
Because he need it. How you gonna spread the word and the anointing of God if you don't have a jet?
What you gonna make? You gonna fly
Coach? I can't do that. You know what? What's the white dude that Pat Robinson? Pat Robinson and the other white guy with the gray hair that always talk together, whatever, right? He was saying that he need private jets because he can't spread God's word in a timely fashion if he fly coach, because he's famous and everybody want to shake his hand and stuff like that. And although he loved meeting and greeting with people, Jesse, yeah. The beginning belongs to Jesse. Yeah. He was like, even though he don't mind spreading the word and talking to people and being passionate for God, he also have to be on point. So he needs his private jet so he can fly by himself, get there, go spread the word, and come back. So he needs his jet.
You can ride first class. Nobody don't bother him in first class.
I want to just point out before I get the mad point on this. I want to point out Creflo Dollar and Jesse both got their jet. So,
well, Jesse not yet. He just started.
No, he got it. The beginning belongs to Jesse.
I mean, he already had a jet.
When I seen this interview, he had. I was about to say he got
but
a jet.
He want another jet though, because he already got.
Yeah, he need a new jet.
This interview was just like
so
2-3 weeks ago. He already got a jet.
No.
But those jets, they
ain't good enough. I mean, no jets. Matt, what you think about this issue, man?
I know Pastor Newbill. I've attended his church, and I think he's a man of good cause. So if he's in support of it, I support it. You know, it's real easy to pick on the church a lot of times because people do see pastors in fancy cars, but nobody cries when their kids go to school and don't get the same textbooks at the night school across town. Nobody holds the principal accountable in that case, but they're real quick to yell at the pulpit.
That's a good point.
So, you know, my thing is, if you don't have a full view of what a church is involved in, If you want to pick any one aspect of any life or any institution to make your judgment, you're gonna fall short of painting the full picture.
I think this is the best way to pimp the game ever, because if like Creflo Dollar, he got shit to back up what he doing. He even though he want that plane, I bet she doing all kind of shit in the community. Because that's because the community giving them so much money. But at the same time, no man who of God should be rich at all. All the money should go toward the people.
True.
You preaching the word of
The
God.
Bible says it is easier for a camel to thread the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to get into my Father's kingdom.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about
That's what Jesus said. No, but I'm saying, that go with what you just said.
I know,
say, give all your riches away, be poor.
This is the point they try to make or whatever. It'll be like, why shouldn't I be able to do this and do that and do that? Because if you're a man of God, while you doing this, that means somebody else is needed. So the money anything that you do, that all the luxuries that you do for yourself could have been helping someone else. Jesus ain't have no luxuries. If you walk in the path of Jesus, like you're supposed to do, all of them luxuries, you got to forget that. Don't even try to be a pastor then. Because all of your luxuries got to go to somebody else who need it. All of it. Not just, because they'll take in, 100%, you got 100% of the profits. 15-20% go to the community and they make it look good. All the rest, I'm going to get a Rolls Royce, I'm going to get a big ass house, and I'm going to do this and do that. No.
See, on this show every week, I ain't even cut you off, I'm sorry. On this show every week, we talk about the status and where black people are. And most of the times, for me especially, I'm like, well, this negative, that's negative, this negative, that's negative, right? Here go my thing about church. And just, to preempt this, let everybody know who ain't heard yet, might be first time watching the pod or listening to the pod, I'm an atheist. So I don't believe in nothing. But I'm also a humanist where I feel like, as long as you ain't hurting me, you can do whatever you want to do. So, but my thing with the church and black people's loyalty to the church in general is this. Okay, so we talk about all how we need to come together in our communities and all this and everything. Every community got a church. Every black community do. Multiple. Right. So if churches, in my opinion, if churches was doing what they were supposed to do, we would be farther ahead. We would be farther along, because I feel like if they really wanted to help the community, and I'm not saying all churches don't. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying the majority or whatever. Because if they was doing what they were supposed to do, the community would be farther and closer together. Just like here in Jacksonville, man, we had these 3 dudes just kill each other or whatever, get shot on drive-by in the town center or whatever. We got Dr. Donald Floyd from Mad Dads who go around and he try to, bring the community together after a shooting and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah, okay, yeah, like, what's the dude, Al Sharpton. I see what you're saying. But he tried to bring the community together and stuff like that. I feel like the community should be easier to come together with these church members. All them people go to church, and it's like I told somebody before, these thugs believe in God. They might not practice the ways, but they believe in God. Go tell a thug that ain't no God. That thug will look at you like you crazy. Because they rap about it, they love them. So the church should reach out to these dudes and try to grab these dudes and stuff like that. I'm with Tank. It's not about stacking up your funds or stacking up your prowess. It's about helping the people, man. And I think churches, not all, but most, take advantage of black people's loyalty. They take advantage of the fact that people love God, man.
All of them.
People love church.
It's like rooted in us from slavery. That was our escape from all of the troubles and things that we had during slavery. So it's like rooted and grounded into the black community and into black people in itself. So to take that, I mean, like I said before, if you're a pastor and you're like genuinely trying to help the community, like this payday loan thing, if you're doing this to help the community and to, I don't know, build it up and bring people to God and things like that, okay, fine. But if you're doing it as a corrupt way just to get more money, just to bring the community down, you're not helping anybody.
Why did Joe Osteen have a mansion?
Just why?
Why did this motherfucker
and like you said about the Bible specifically says about pastors that they should live modestly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
modest is relative.
Jesus, even though he lived poor, I'm pretty sure he had some bomb ass sandals. And probably fresh the motherfucker. But he ain't having no goddamn mansion.
Did Jesus go to work?
With his dad when he was younger.
We talking about baby Jesus. Did Jesus go to work?
Jesus' work was the Lord's work.
And in the course of his work, the community provided for him. Because we never see where he rented a room at the Motel 6. We don't see where he had to get a payday loan.
Oh, yeah.
So at the point where the community stopped supporting the church, guess what? They are going to turn it into an enterprise. Because we sitting here saying the church should get more involved with young black people. Well, here's some quality young people here. But where are we in the church to go reach out to those young people that are relatable?
Well, see, I'm that's a whole different conversation for me.
Where are the black men?
Because I'm atheist. So I actually don't think that Christians should spread their Christianity. So I want to shut down all churches. But I'm taking a step back and I'm looking at it rationally because I know that's not feasible and everybody don't feel like that. So I'm saying on the pretenses of this your religion and this how you live in, then I want you to do more. Now I do actually agree with you, man. I think you're right. Young black men who are God-fearing men, like I talk to Matt. I know Matt go to Bible study and stuff like that. So be like Matt then, if that's how you feel, do it.
But you selling yourself short on the role that you could play in the church. If you think everybody sitting in the pew is a holy roller, you're confused. When they have a backpack giveaway, nobody's asking you to say prayer for everybody first. Volunteers come who never come to church for anything else. So to just say that you don't share the faith of the people, if people are doing good works, then there's a place for you to take part.
Now I agree with you on that. But and I have when I do outreach and community stuff, a lot of times I have to end up working with churches because
You have to end up working. Don't
Yeah.
say it like it's a crime.
well, then I really don't want to. But here's my thing. But here's the thing. Okay, so and I'll let you in on some personal stuff for me. So I do work with churches a lot on my outreach stuff. The reason why is it's hard to find a non-religious affiliated black charity. It just really is. Most black charities that I've ran into or come across have been religious affiliated or whatever. So I will work with them. My thing is being an atheist, my pretenses is like I said, backpack giveaway. If we giving away straight backpacks, I'm coming to help. I'm gonna help pass out backpacks at your church. But if we giving away backpacks and we giving away a pamphlet and saying about salvation and stuff, I don't want to spread that.
That's enough reason for you not to go help make sure kids.
I don't want to spread that shit. Nobody.
So it's worth the kids not getting their backpack at school.
No, I can do it.
Who may not get them otherwise.
If you want to get a backpack, you gonna do that shit. Damn.
But no, if they're saying
you ain't got a problem with no church.
We've incurred the cost of getting these backpacks and school supplies for kids whose parents didn't think it was worth it. All we asking you to do is to hand them to them. You're saying that a flyer that says "Come to youth church on Thursdays" is too much.
No, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the youth church flyer. I'm mad at the flyer that says salvation.
Witness for a little booklet about the end of days. But again, are you gonna get caught up?
Well, I got a question for that. Because all right, if it's an atheist giveaway, and we said giving out flyers said fuck God and fuck Jesus, they not doing it.
I was about to say
that go back to tribalism and picking a side. That's why they should get all the shit in a wave and don't bring nothing into it. So it just giving away that.
Do it secularly.
Because you can flip flop it either way.
But you
flip flop it either way.
You can't tell somebody how to go spend their money, devote their time, and then make them do it your way.
And then people are expecting churches to do that anyway.
Expect out a pamphlet?
I'm expecting niggas to go vote.
Churches to hand out and provide for the community. They're expecting that. So
I think it's their duty.
Because the community gives them money.
Wait, before I forget
the
this
community
point.
give them money. So yeah.
Right. Here's before I forget this point. The reason why I think that it's on the church, the onus is on the church to spend this money with the community and give out to the community is because they're tax exempt. If I start a business or whatever, and I collect money. If I just start a business, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna show 2 seconds of TV shows a day, and I'm charged $40 a day or whatever. I'm getting taxed on that or whatever. But a church is a non-tax business, so the reason why they get taxed, like no tax, they're anti-tax, whatever, is to provide the community. And that go for churches, mosques. What's the
Scientology?
All that. If you're a religious organization,
if you're a non-profit,
right, or non-profit, you should be
American Cancer Society.
you should be providing for the community. Yeah, you should be providing for the community.
But the American Cancer Society is taking in all this money and all these. They got NFL players wearing pink full of money.
Right, and they need to stop it too.
I'm on their rights too.
Yeah, all that push and pull. But at the end of the day, if they're getting us closer to an answer for cancer. You want to talk about the means or the results?
No, because it depends on how much it is. Like, is it 15% being dedicated to what cancer research?
95%.
Or it
could be 95%.
I feel like with all the technology and stuff we have, I feel like we already got the answer. They just withholding it.
Oh, that's conspiracy. That's not. I don't think so.
Okay.
White people are capable of anything, so I don't know.
I'm just saying. I just don't feel like it's taking this long
to find a cure for cancer. I think it's difficult. I don't think so.
Tell you who the cancer is. in the black community. Grab no dollars. What's the nigga downtown? R.J. Washington. He dead?
No, R.J. Washington passed away.
He
Shout out to
passed away?
R.J. Washington.
He
Actually was a good dude, though. He was a good dude, though. I met him before.
I'm saying he's a hustler, too, though. All right? All of, I mean, he used the word God to hustle. And I ain't saying that it was a good hustle. It probably was, he thought was an honest hustle, but it still ain't walking in the way of Jesus.
I got it.
Says the man who's not walking in the way of Jesus.
Like, I can look at it from the outside. I
But
know,
right,
I know what
it's
Jesus
I mean, it's
was.
like you read the Bible and you know what.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
You gotta get rid of all the luxuries. I'm just going by the scripture.
They got rules.
If everybody reads the Bible, they gonna get, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do and not to do.
I mean,
if you're a pastor, yeah.
Right.
Many are called the chosen
But
few.
pastors are the chosen few, so they should
No,
follow
they're not
the
the
Bible
chosen few.
more
Many are
than
called. That's why you
read
see a
Bible.
million churches.
But you know that it's a way.
You think every pastor is capable of interpreting and speaking God's word to you?
No.
That's why it's
But
many more called than chosen.
I could read the New Testament and see the life that a pastor is supposed to lead. And if you're not lining up with what you're preaching to do, I don't care if you just go to church. You're not the one that
you're not a problem.
Yeah. But if you are actually the pastor and you're not aligned, or everybody's sinners is what they say. But
yeah, pastors sin. They're not perfect.
Yeah. I don't care about you going sliding on fucking on the bit. Are you married? It should happen. God damn it. But if you live in that lifestyle, that's just like being gay. That's like a constant sin that you're doing and not repenting against.
Right.
So you can't live that lifestyle and be
what
a
I'm
pastor.
saying about these pastors like Creflo Dollar and the ones who aren't doing what they're supposed to do in the community, we need to hold them accountable. We sit in here and we say we need to hold so and so accountable, we need to hold these people accountable, we need to hold that people accountable. Matt, you're right. If the dude from 1 Timothy is a good dude, and I ain't shitting on him. I ain't saying he was doing nothing wrong. But if he's a good dude, then cool. But if he's not, then they need to be held accountable. Because that's my thing about Christianity and church with black people. That one of the parts of the reason why I'm atheist or whatever, because I feel like it's hurting us as a community because we often look or lean towards the church for answers and we don't get them because the church ain't trying to provide the answers, they just want them tithes. Now that's not all churches, but I've been some places before, Tank, you been there with me when I was a Christian, that we was like, what's going on in here?
I might have to disagree with that because aside from the money shit, it is churches that can be therapeutic. And
I said not all.
I say a lot of them, most of them are therapeutic in helping you get through certain situations. Like a church could turn a gangbanger whole life around. That mean he might, and even though I don't believe in the shit, if he do and that get his life together and he's not doing that bullshit no more, then that is the positive side of a lot of churches.
I think the issue is when they start getting bigger and making more money. I think when you're a smaller church and it's confined and you can really focus on the people, then it's really benefiting the community. But when they start blowing up and worry about $65 million jets, that's when it's the issue.
Me and Tank got a podcast that's coming out real soon whenever he change shifts. That's going to be called Bruh is Deep. And we're going to talk deep on stuff about this or whatever. But I'm going to bring up something. We ain't got to get into it. I just want to say something about what you and Bria just said. That's a philosophical debate. Because the reason why I say it's philosophical is because I feel like Christianity is detrimental to a person. Now, I have reasons behind that and why, but I feel like it's detrimental to a person. So, you saying, yeah, he not no thug no more. That's good, but it's just like what Matt say. It's the tit for tat. Okay, so yeah, he not no thug no more, but now he got all these other things that he have a problem with. So it's like, okay, so do you say?
What you trying to
We trading gangbangers.
The trade-off would be better though.
Okay, but that's like assuming again. It's all relative and opinion based because a Muslim would not think that Christianity is a good religion, and a Christian don't think that Islam is a good religion.
Not necessarily.
As an atheist, I don't think the religious aspect of it is good. I think it's detrimental to your mind.
Just because you're Christian don't mean that you feel just because you're Christian don't mean you say fuck Muslims and fuck all of that.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's my American.
But it don't
that
mean
is my American opinion.
Just because you're Christian don't mean you'll say, oh, what about another religion? Y'all need to do. No, you just a Christian. And you just respect
that's
that
what I'm
religion.
saying. I'm not talking about
saying,
I'm not talking about the hate aspect of it.
Well, you just said you don't like them niggas.
Believing, I did not say that. I did not say that. What I'm saying is, in my opinion, and that's why I said it's all philosophical because it's opinion based. In my opinion, I feel like believing in a religion and a God is detrimental to your health. And I have reasons, we'll talk about it after the podcast, but I have reasons for that, or whatever, because we get into it on here, that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
But and I'm trying to stay on topic. But I'm saying, I feel like it's detrimental to your health. So to say that churches can be therapeutic or whatever, in my opinion, is trading one mental health issue for another mental health issue.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel. I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that. So, you know, but
one is going to end you in the grave or prison, and the other is going to do what?
Be in Sunday school.
I'm saying some people live a better life.
Yeah.
Believing in mythological things, not doing for yourself because you feel like somebody going to come do it.
Yeah, but you want to be in jail.
Pray. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that then.
Or dead.
I can see
they won't be in your bushes.
Wait, you can stop at the jail thing. I can see that being in jail is worse than anything. So yeah, I can see that. But I mean, we got some people. I'm not gonna say his name on here because I don't know if it's people watching. I ain't gonna put him out. But you know, our homeboy who used to stay from our granddad's house across the way or whatever. Yeah. He got, you know, he became a very church going person or whatever, and it changed him as a man because before that he was doing some stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day,
which one man we talking about?
No, you gotta get off the bone with that.
Now see, that's why I said get off the bone. We ain't gonna talk about. Do you think he was a better person?
Which one man are we talking about?
What you mean?
We talking about like a lot of congregations, or we talking about one man that's counter to the idea that going to church is better than gay?
No, I'm
you found one rotten apple in the orchard?
Again, to me.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I see what he's saying, yeah. That's why I say, but to me, like I said, that's why I say it's philosophical. It's an opinion-based thing because I think it's something wrong with everybody that believes.
But I really do. I'm asking if your reality even supports that. Is what I'm saying.
My reality.
You're describing one man,
right?
Who has had that experience. Is there another man?
Yeah, but see, that's my thing.
That's two men.
Okay. Don't.
Is there another man?
Listen,
I got an answer.
Because the majority of the men that you see to have Christian values.
Here go my thing, and now this why I was telling Bria. This why I was telling Bria.
I got an answer. This is the thing. I feel more like it could. Anytime you open your mind up to make you change your life for the better, is a thing. Whether it's going from gangbanging to really Christian, or going from Christian to atheist, because once I felt more free once I let all that Jesus shit go. That shit made my life better, and I ain't got all of that other bullshit that come with a religion or whatever. I let that go. So your life can change depending on, it can get positive depending on.
Brie, I see you got a thought.
Because you talk about the religious aspect. When you talking about just believing in God and you believe in
the doctrine.
Yes, when you believe in a doctrine, it doesn't come with,
it comes with some bullshit, bro.
We don't go to church, we don't go to Sunday school at 9 a.m. and then after 9 a.m. we have morning prayer, and then at 11 we start.
See, I'm not even talking about.
You talk, you gotta go to church at this time.
I'm not even talking about the religious aspect. Now I'm gonna say this, okay? Don't get offended, Matt and Brie.
Wow.
Or Kendra over there, or any of y'all out there, or any of y'all out there. No, seriously. Here go my thing. This is how I feel. Matt was like, do I know anybody else besides that one dude who we was talking about? I feel like you, Bria, are somebody else. I feel like Matt, somebody else, or anybody else that believes. I think it's something wrong with y'all. And that's my opinion. So I feel like to represent, do you know somebody else? I know all y'all. I know the whole world. Because to me, I can look at many things and see the detriment in it. My only thing is this, or whatever. Again, that's philosophical. But there is a doctrine to the church, and the church has a role. They do. They really do. That's why they in the communities and they untaxed. All I'm saying, when it comes to black people supporting church, the support for church for black people is mostly unconditional. Okay? Because I know at my grandma's church, people support that thing unconditionally.
That's why people don't switch churches.
Yeah.
Because it's a blood oath in.
No. Really? That's all I'm saying. No, people
don't think people leave churches when they find out they passed.
You go to another church, but it's still a church. That's what I'm saying. It's unconditional. But we gotta hold the churches that you. Okay, so if you leave a church and you be like, oh, that was a bad church. I left that girl and I'm at this church and this is a good church and I left that other church because of this, and this. Talking bad about the church ain't gonna stop that church from still having a congregation and spreading their negative thing or doing whatever negative they're doing. So, I'm saying we have to hold them accountable. We have to get that stuff under control, shut it down.
I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
not the hustle, man.
And I do think it's a hustle, in my opinion. I do think it's like very much so.
For some pastors, but every pastor is not. For my father, it's not.
99.995% your father, your daddy broke. I don't really trust.
He's not broke.
I only trust broke pastors.
By the way, our granddaddy was a pastor.
Unless you got another business.
Well, see, the broke pastors are the best pastors because they can relate to the people in the community.
You talking about cults?
No, I'm saying that they are the people
What you mean cult? Because technically Christianity is a cult, and so is Islam and anything.
Here we go. We're going to talk about that.
We do.
I feel like people who are on a lesser scale, they really care more about connecting with the people that are following them than the people who are bigger, because then you can't connect with everybody.
So why can't they get more connections?
What do you mean, why can't they?
What's the whole that if they're doing such an excellent
Well,
job?
They're smaller, so of course they don't have all the connections as bigger churches do. But I feel like if
No. I mean, if the four of us are here, we all make a connection with one person.
It all
We're
depends
gonna
on
have 8 people the next week.
depending on how charismatic they is. Because if you charismatic,
So some crappy pastors is broke pastors.
they could be. That could be.
I think all crappy pastors are broke pastors, because if you got that talk game, you're going to be rich. Because the pastor game go like this, and this is just from what I see. You do your pastor sermon thing. If your church get big, you get rich. I've never seen a pastor of a big church living in my neighborhood. I just ain't never seen that. So when you do your pastor thing, I could go be a pastor right now, and I got a good talk game, and I can make a bunch of money, but I actually care about people, and I would be lying.
You should
I
do
feel
it,
like
boy.
It's all about what you're looking for when you go to church, when you go to Bible study, whatever. It's what you're looking for. If you actually looking for God and you're looking to change your life and you believe what the Bible says, I think that's a different experience for you. Then you go tell people who are like you, who are wanting that same experience, then they come to the church. They come to Bible study. It's about what you're looking for when you go to church.
This is what they say. Even though Pastor Gill y'all was touching them little girls, the word that he preached was the truth. That's what matters.
And if you don't
looking at the man, don't look at the man. Look at the word of God that he's
everybody
preaching.
don't know who that is, because we got people all around the world. And we got Brill from Daytona who don't know. So Pastor Gilliard was a pastor here in Jacksonville, Florida, who was a very prominent pastor at a very prominent black church.
Ooh, he could preach.
He was a very good preacher. But he also was having sex with the 13-year-old girls in the congregation. So
And the congregation knew about it?
they found out about it. Now I'm not gonna allege what somebody knew or didn't know.
He moved from another church in Texas because of the same allegations.
Right.
Are we talking about the Catholic Church?
Okay. These
Very similar though, except this little girls are not little boys.
Yeah.
Because Catholic like little boys, and then like Gilliard like little
White
girls.
people that love boys. I don't know what's wrong.
Okay, so when he came to Jacksonville, they didn't know that he had those
I don't know.
allegations. Okay.
But
I mean, like when the Pope shuffles around bishops because there's been allegations.
Yeah, very similar.
To another guy.
I'm not saying that like but basically at the end of long story short, Brill, the dude did all that stuff. He was a pastor. He did all that, and even though it came out that he was basically statutory raping or molesting, depending on the story you get from somebody. This 13-year-old child, people was like, well, I'm still gonna go with Gilliard because he preached a good word. As a matter of fact, my mom was going to a church at the time or whatever over off 8th Street that got rid of their pastor and let Gilliard come be the pastor. Now my mom left the church after he became pastor. She was like, I'm not for that. So shout out to my mom for having some ethics.
All that matters is the word.
A lot of people was like that. Did your grandma ever leave from them?
I thought your grandma still go there.
Yeah, and see, Tank grandma, not on my side, but on his daddy's side, Tank grandma went to that church. She was a prominent member. She still went there after that. So
I think if your parents ever use drugs in your lifetime, you should never love them as an adult because people can't change.
What? That's not. Wait a minute. Now you doing apples to oranges.
Okay.
No.
You said we dropped the line from saying that.
No.
You ain't getting over that need for that little pussy.
What I'm saying is, any celebrity is gonna be easy to pick their life apart based on headlines. But would any of us want our life to be considered, our legacy to be considered by our worst act at our worst time?
It depends on if it's the thing that we draw the line in the sand with, like kids. Yeah, if it was drugs and shit that y'all had did, I wouldn't give a fuck. What's the mayor that got Mayor Barry?
What I'm saying is,
Marion Barry.
Barry got elected. Elect him. He smoked crack, but he good at the job.
Good mayor.
But you can't fuck them kids.
But this is what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, if we gonna take the position of measuring people by their worst act, at their darkest day.
Depending on what that word saying is, though, you gotta put them stipulations on it. You
All
can't
right,
just say any word saying.
So we're gonna start a tradition
You
of
gotta-
on your tombstone, you're gonna put your most embarrassing story or the dirtiest
That would
deed
be
you've
so
ever
bad.
done.
Hey, as long as it ain't fucking
I
kids,
can't
nobody
wait.
cares.
It's gonna be
You
nasty.
Then let's see
I
how
don't
the
care
people
that
actually
club
do
like
it
the
then.
fuck cows and shit at night.
Hey,
Or whatever
leave
you
me
doing
out of
with
this.
the cow. I heard about you.
Oh,
Go and fuck them cows if that's what you like.
Brr.
Just stay away from the kids.
See, here go my thing though. Now I'm not gonna go too deep, but this is my thing. This go now, and Matt is right though. He's right because in Christianity, no sin is greater than the other,
right.
and you should be able
Oh,
to
that's where
forgive.
you're coming from.
You should be able to forgive, and then if Gilliard forgave and and he still has the word or the calling of God in him, he should be able to pastor again.
And
But
that's
that's
detrimental.
detrimental.
That is detrimental to the community.
There are
It got
levels
to
to
be
sin.
ostracized. You got to keep them niggas out. Fuck that.
That's how I feel. Yes,
Forgiveness overrated.
that's how I feel.
But like I said, black people it's so rooted in us, the church, because it's so we escape from the life that we are living, and so it's really hard for people to disconnect from that when they found a safe place.
It's a good pep rally. Now I enjoy me some Navajo the Lamb. Goddamn, I might listen to it after this
Can't do
podcast.
cry every time now behold the lamb come on. What was your thoughts, man, that you were gonna say?
The black church is instrumental because for a long time, you have to remember the whole world didn't always have internet.
Right.
There was a time where not only were we eating in lunch counters, but we were actually in shackles. And church was a chance. Even if you ain't want to play the tambourine, fellas, you could at least be around your people.
Right.
Right, and then you know what?
And
Right.
then those bonds and connections are still valuable.
Right.
Because we're what? We like to say between 10 and 14% of the population. It's gonna be hard to go all around the United States and hope to run into like-minded people just because you're black. But you know, if you go to a church, you can pretty much guarantee there's gonna be some black folks.
Which is
People
true.
understand you.
And just to-
relate to you.
Yeah, and just to drop some history knowledge real quick, Matt is 100% right. Bonds and stuff when we were in shackles was established at the church because the master refused to have church with us. They would send us to the shack down by the river or whatever to have church. But another thing that we did, which I think it goes into tie into how we have such strong ties to church or whatever, when we wanted to have escapes or we wanted to have a meeting, we weren't allowed to meet more than 2 at a time, except at church. So at church, we would go down to the church and have these meetings and stuff like that. So it did come a place of like black empowerment and black arrangement and stuff like that. But I feel like we're a long way away from that now, whatever. I don't care if everybody want to be loyal to the church, that's fine. And I don't care if churches exist or whatever. Although my wish is that they didn't, I don't care that they do because it technically it ain't hurting me or whatever. So I don't care. But what I do care about is my community. And I just want churches to be held to the fire for helping the community. That's all. That's all. So I think at the end of the day, loyalty to church and stuff like that, it's not like we're gonna change it. That's the thing. That's me and Tank always talk about this stuff, whatever. It's 2 atheists like chilling and best friends and cousins and shit. We ain't gonna change it. Ain't that me, Matt, Tank, and Anna's mom was talking a few weeks ago. And we were having this like philosophical religious debate. And something I said was, I don't argue with theists. And the reason why I said that is because I can't change a theist's mind. I've really evolved in my atheism to get way down the line to where I know I ain't changing your mind.
I came to that point because I'm like, how is a theist going to change my mind?
Right.
So change my mind. I can't
change your mind, so it's not worth the
I say
argument.
fuck it, let's just be cool, man.
Right, exactly. So let's just kick it and be humans
Yeah.
or whatever. But I do want everybody to do something positive or whatever. Like don't do the negative or don't dwell on the negative. And when people are doing negative, hold them accountable. I think that's not just a church thing. Within the community as a whole, I feel like if we held more people accountable and expected results, we would have better situations or whatever. Look at the city council here in Jacksonville recently or whatever. Reggie Brown and the other, was it Katrina Brown? They just got indicted on some charges of money laundering and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that. Hold them accountable. I've been saying for years that they was doing some dirt, boy. I've been saying that for years, and it's known that they was doing it, and nobody did it. Corrine Brown, I hate Corrine Brown. I couldn't stand her or whatever. And she got caught on the charges and accusations.
Until Corrine, you did it for too goddamn long.
Too long. But you gotta hold people accountable See, that's my thing. You gotta hold them accountable. We let it slide because, oh, she black and she did this EWC, stuff like that. But in reality, when she freaking laundering money to buy her kids cars and stuff like that, it's wrong. If you wouldn't want the white man to do it, then you shouldn't do it. Period. If it's wrong, it's wrong.
And what a time to say, boy, how much time we got on this time?
We about to close it on out, man.
We about to close it on out. What, 59 minutes or something?
We passed that, baby boy.
Oh,
but man, before we close it on out today, man, I want to just say, man, I appreciate everybody that's done jumped over to the YouTube with us, man. And if, cause I share this on,
niggas.
yeah, all 16 of y'all. Actually, no, bro, we up to 20 something now. Woo! That's what did the jump. Cause I asked for the help and y'all provided the help. No, we want to appreciate everybody that's coming over to the YouTube, man. We know it's only going to get stronger and get bigger, man. And if you're looking at this on Facebook, because I share it on Facebook or whatever, come on over to the YouTube, man. Like and subscribe to page Bro Listen Podcast, and holler at us. And then interact with us, man. Follow us on Twitter at Bro Listen Podcast on Twitter. And then also, you can hit us up in the email at brolistenpodcast@gmail.com. And just let us know what you think. Give us some ideas for topics. Let us know what you think about the show, things we need to critique or whatever. We open for everything, man. Just let us know that. We appreciate it. And one more time, shout out to the Right Lawn Care. If y'all got lawn needs or pressure washing needs in Jacksonville, Florida, holler at my boy Chris Wright, the Right Lawn Care, support black business, and do the thing. We're going to go ahead on and get on out of here, though. We're going to go around for the final thoughts on the day after this episode or whatever. It was a good episode. So, Matt, go ahead and let us have it, baby boy.
Everyone sees what you look like, but only a few of us know what you are like.
There it is, Socrates. Tank?
Look, you can fuck who you want to, but don't fuck the wrong way.
Okay. Tank, you get better every week, man. You get better every week.
That was deep. That just came
I feel
from
like
hard.
you just trying to play off of Matt, and it's just.
I came from hard.
That was very tanky.
Put whatever meaning you want to.
That was very tanky. Bria, go ahead and hit us with it, man.
At the end of the day, black churches, we got to start helping the community more and doing our part for the community. Because I agree that if we were doing more in the community, we would be further along.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, good thought, Bria, good thought. And then my final thought is do whatever you want, just as long as it don't harm nobody else. If you live by that, I think you'll be all right, man. That's a golden rule.
We better write a Bible. What I ain't in the Bible is.
It's not. That could have been the only commandment, in my opinion.
Oh, do all the others that
I was going to say, what you mean that's not in the Bible?
Unless they treat others the way you want to be treated, unless they rape your daughter, then give them some pigs, and then you free of it. Or I can keep going. But it's not, to me.
I think I like treat others the way you treat
listen
them.
to this next
Listen to yourselves, man.
I'm with the Bible.
Don't y'all worry about this, because we're going to talk about this after the podcast. Don't y'all worry about this, because that's not true. But no, man, but I tell you what, we appreciate everybody for joining us on Bro Listen Podcast. And as always, man, we just want to thank y'all for tuning in and listening to us and everything. And till next week, all power to the people. Peace.
Bitch. Hey.
Hold up.
No, you
I was going to say.
Hold up.
I was about to get you.
Hold up.